Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
Sophie Milk ñu ngi fété juróom benn ati cafka bu dul dañ ñoo leen indil Jalika full cream milk powder neex saf sàpp te bari cafka pour di leen jërëjëfati si ni ngeen defee Sophie Milk seen favorite milk brand léegi mun ngeen a jëfandikoo empty Jalika milk sachets wala carton pour gagner ay xéewal yu riche. Pour gagner motorbike dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty carton yi Jalika milk pour gagner yeneen xéewal yu mel ni PlayStation 4, TV, fridge freezer, gas cooker, bicycle wala mobile phone. dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty Jalika milk sachets def leen si biir enveloppe binda si sa tur ak sa téléphone number. Mun ngeen ko yóbbu si bépp Jalika milk agent bu leen gën a jege. Pour xam bi si raful yi dem leen Jalika milk Facebook page. Jalika milk mooy meew bu ees bu leen so fi indel gën a neex saf sàpp te riche.
It's a warm reception to our studio here in Sarakunda. This is Star TV News with me, Maimunaju Fadera. First, the headlines tonight. Around 370 imams from KM visit President Barrow. 2021 polls back convinced monthly dialogue. Former Gambian gendarmeries launched 1982 Kirji Intech Foundation. Commander 1st Infantry Battalion Colonel Prayer Mendy dies, age 57. 10 junior Gambian doctors trained on basic surgical skills by the West African College of Surgeons in collaboration with Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. On the international scene, fights a Moderna to raise COVID vaccine price for Europe. Tunisia state says will not turn into a dictator amidst arrest. Belarus Olympic athlete says taken to airport against her wish. Well, those were the headlines. And now the news in detail. Around 370 imams from the Kanifing municipality over the weekend paid a courtesy visit to His Excellency President Adama Barrow at the presidency in Banjul. Well, Dadu Cham has more.
The State House visit accorded to the religious leaders the platform to once again offer prayers for the well-being of the president, as well as to convey messages of best wishes to him and the country barely a fortnight after the observance of the Muslim feast of Tobaski. This representative of the Imams said the relation between the president and the Imams is being characterized by love. He explained that the promotion of peace is every Imam's preoccupation, especially for the peaceful conduct of the forthcoming election, saying the Imams were excited to come.
Bima imam Basiru joxe liggéey bi imam bu ma kool yëgal ko dafay kontaan dafay bég pour bëgg a tase ak yow pour bëgg laa gis pour bëgg laa ñaanal pour bëgg a jàkkaarloo ak yow loolu de yaakaar la gu yàlla def ci xol yi mu loon démb ba tey ñëw kon de mënuma wax ne say candidat ñoo toog danaa la yëgal ne say ilimaana toog waaye say soppe ñoo toog ñu la bëgg ñu la jàppale ñu lay ñaanal ñu réew mi di seen yitte.
He explained that the Imams would like the president to respond to their locomotion challenges as well as help in the allocation of salary for certain Imams.
waaye ndeysaan ilimaanu réew mi fii ñu bari soo leen rombee dañuy dox duñu xam lu leen yóbbu jumaa yu bari surtout imam ratib yu bari soo leen rombee ñu ngi taxaw di ñaan ku leen may liif loolu de wax nañ ma ko ñu ne naa ko wax nañ ma it ne xam nañ ne réew mi mënuñoo fay imam yëpp waaye ba xam na spécial ay jumaa yu ne ci réew mi waroon nañoo mën a xam am ndimbal buy war a jógee ci biir réew mi di ñëw ci poosu imam yooyu nga xam ne ñooy dem di ngénte ñooy dem ci ceet yi ñooy dem ci dëj yi ñooy def xew yépp ñoom ci seen loxo lay nekk lu xew ñu ne imam ñëwal te réew mi baaxoo nañ suñ ne aksil duñ xam nu imam di ñëwee dañuy wax imam ak seegu te fekk imam a ngi ci yoon wi ji ñaan liif lii de waxoon nañ ne naa la ko wax gannaaw buñ xàndee ak yow.
President Barrow, in his discussion, described himself as lucky in that the visit came off the back of a similar visit to State House by chiefs and Alkalolu of a West Coast region. The president described the event as a fulfillment of a longing and yearning by KM to have such an interface, recognizing the crucial role played by the NPP Kanifing regional chairman under Nyang in making the event happen. Mr. Barrow said he did noted the challenges highlighted by the imams, saying the chief justification of government policies is to integrate the wishes and aspirations of the masses to yield positive outcomes. The president noted that the functions of imams are positively impactful to the society. He said government will consider their demands, not only financially but otherwise. President Barrow recalled the 15,000 COVID-19 support that his government rendered to the majority of the imams. This, the president added, was an innovative idea. The president also said the 5 million government subvention to the Supreme Islamic Council is also innovative, as he reminded his audience of how the Christian Council enjoys similar gesture. To President Barrow, if the government can do all this, then subvention for imams is possible.
Subvention de danna o dronna alinga Christian men fran be nyim banko gange fran subven ma subvention o provide wol fanay wol France ayinke subven le pour koke o kukilon si o mira no ko denke ka subvention o créer pour imamol o be sikero.
The president, however, said fulfilling a promise of subvention to the imams may not be as that rapid, as the idea has to be subjected to rigorous process because lot of institutions such as the executive and the legislature have to be involved. President Barrow advised the imams to use their pulpits and other platforms to raise awareness of COVID-19 as the most listened to section of the society as per the finding of a recent survey.
Bari kukrimbe o dandar laro dila wayre jamaatiol le malti anu molka lamoyle sauvé dole ketanu jama me bake sauvé nyin kanyi nin karo ke molke lammo jumala mol lata jumala imam mol le ketan number 1 molke lammo momel wota munta ko o quartier fayo altel le gagnata altel le président fa gagné o quartier fayo iko altel molka altel le lammo wota nata molka altel le lammo sulo be gambia ko me alonko mo be nyanta diamula pour molier lammo pour ko keno COVID-19 coronavirus.
The president said the effects of the first and second waves of the pandemic on the economy and society were disruptive and devastating, adding that government does not wish to reintroduce lockdowns.
Man lafi pour ngata o tembo ko tenko pour kata ka dulal soro. Andu aka kenya mente amunta aka mol pus katara woldo. Woto nata be man lafi pour sorondiro e ki kotenke. Woto alim be nga kafu nga mol kawandi. Kurango nyimbalanda men nga wolbula. Wolo nyinti ko nga maskol ke. Nimbe jama ko dawo da nga maskol. Nimbe misrol ko nga social distancing nga jam fanyol. Woto mbela fila imamo be abe yakala responsibility.
He urged the public to strictly adhere to the virus prevention protocol and make best of the current government vaccination program.
Wokola kurango nata londi tiol wulta ye londol bondi ye boro bondi melo ka si tankano kurango nyinda wala si ma ko no hani kurango nyimuta de kuno lem ngame mo kusone are balti and imam mo charge hani transfer je iko mobe funti eta yektingota nimme mallano fana ngamira be inde je television ro ngapi ngonyintale woto nata kuno meano ka mambetea mamira ndefolo bata ala banko barin master of ceremony ya fonyade abe introduce la ko commander in chief na ta kala commander in chief te be general loti de nin ko men na rete be tar la nyaato woto wala ke ndem general loti ndele folo tar la nyaato ngapi ngota pour ka ñita Gambia be la ka fako ñi non kuti meano ko ñi be tankandi nol woto sain ñi be sorta Gambia kono andun lafta imamol ye kafumna jamama momele alonko iwoni advocacy kela.
Reporting for Star TV News, I am Dadu Cham.
In line with its expanded election observatory activities, the Peace Ambassadors the Gambia has observed the 2021 voter registration exercise, and the organization on Saturday held its monthly stakeholder dialogue on findings of the voter registration process. Our Sani has more details in this report.
PAG, in conjunction with the National Democratic Institute, expanded its election observation efforts from election day observation to systematic long-term observation of major electoral processes within the entire election cycle. The resident program director of NDI, Raymond Esek-Bagbon, said the partnership between his institution and Peace Ambassadors is building around complementing the crucial efforts of the civil society organizations in ensuring credible elections, among others.
Capacity to the PAG and its election watch partners through trainings, and then supporting them in some other aspects, such as setting up tools for election observation, sharing best practices, and all of that. So we've done that in the last few months to prepare the PAG to be able to observe the entire election cycle using technologies and using innovative approaches to ensure that the data that they are collecting reflect the reality on the ground.
Mr. Esek-Bagbon pointed out that the observation of the voter registration exercise is not complete, as IEC would soon release the voter roll and related issues.
There are other stakeholders that also participated in the registration process. Civil society groups, other civil society groups were also interested. So at the end of the day, the beauty is that the IEC and other stakeholders who will receive this report, they will get to see some of the recommendations that have been made. The recommendations are not going to the IEC alone. Aspects of them are going to the political parties. Aspects are going to the National Assembly. Some aspects are going to civil society itself. Then there are recommendations that are going to the citizens, the voters. So the report is not just about the IEC.
The Executive Secretary of Peace Ambassadors, the Gambia, Yankuba Manjang, presented the findings of the voter registration exercise conducted from 29th May to 11th July, reflecting observations at 287 registration centers.
During that findings that we deployed, the checklist was divided into phases. And among the first phase that they are looking at is the opening. If you get to the center, you will have to observe some checklists that we give to our observers. And interestingly, out of the 472 reports that our observers filed in, 408 of those reports indicated that the registration centers open on time. Most of the other registration centers opened by 9:30 a.m. Only one center never opened due to an equipment failure. During the exercise, our observers have realized, IEC from their training manual indicated that every center must be opened by 8 o'clock a.m. And from our observers, they have indicated almost all the centers have followed that protocol. It was only one center that was not able to open for a whole day.
On the issue of attestations, Manjang said,
Few applicants, our statistic is either 1 or 2 people. That is few. We have some applicants. That is 3, 4 people. then you have many applicants, 5 up to maybe 5 and above. Or we also have another incident of all applicants. In some sectors, if I just pick in, for example, in Banjul, out of the 27 reports received from Banjul, only 3.7% indicated that no applicant, 3.7 number of applicants that used it. But out of that 27, we've seen 14%, so 14 people, which is 51.8% of people using registration 102 on every registration day.
There were meanwhile discussions and recommendations on key points of the report. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Awasane.
The former 1982 Gambian national gendarmerie and police referred to as the Kirji Intec on Saturday launched its foundation at Officers Mess in Kotu. The foundation aims to, among other things, bring together members and their families to provide support in moments of need. The foundation was registered as a charitable organization in September 2018. Maria Madam reports.
A minute of silence was observed in respect and memory of their fallen colleagues whose families were in attendance. The president of the foundation, Alhaji Momodu Gay, described the event as historic, saying the foundation is geared towards reuniting and empowering the members of the 1982 Kirgi intakes. The foundation intends to support the families of the deceased as well as vulnerable members by assisting them with clothing, housing, financial support, among other things. He also said they are committed to having mutual understanding, strong sense of cultural values and humanity amongst themselves.
Our objective is to empower the families of our fallen comrades and active comrades who have been victims of poverty and help the surviving children of our late comrades with schools, collect grants, as well as provide financial assistance to those families in need with healthcare, housing, and clothing, etc.
Retired Colonel Ndaunjai, who was once a commander of the 1982 Kirgi intakes, acknowledged the heroism of the intakes as he recalled how hard it was to be a gendarme. He noted that the army came into existence as a result of the hard work and dedication of the intakes. Retired Colonel Njai appealed to the government to recognize the efforts and the sacrifices the intakes made in serving the country despite the challenges they face.
And I urge everybody, especially the government of the day, to remember that you people served, and some of you with the ultimate sacrifice, and therefore you should not be forgotten. We should always never forget those who worked hard to set what is now available, to set it at what it is today. As pioneers, your job was to make the path straight. And you did that.
The police advisor, Siaka Sonko, who was an instructor to the 1982 intakes, described his former students as hardworking and committed to national duty. He said they deserve to be recognized and celebrated because they have immensely contributed to the strong security service in the country by carrying out their responsibilities diligently.
Active, and they help to make us have a turnout of good officers that we have here today. Greatly, we have among you generals, a minister, senior officers in the army and the police who attended the training during that period.
The Minister of Interior, Yankuba Sonko, who was part of the intake, said the foundation will strengthen their relationship for a healthy social intercourse. He further thanked their instructors for shaping them.
Successfully eliminating several emotional upsets as they occur in our daily undertakings, analyzing and healing our past disputes and conflicts, formulating a more and more realistic philosophy of cultural norms and values, conquering many irrational fears we often come by the nature, helping and supporting companions in need.
The foundation presented certificates of appreciation and gifts to their 1982 intakes instructors. The event was followed by a performance by the Gambia Police Band. Mariam Adam reporting for Star TV News.
The army on Monday announced the death of Lieutenant Colonel Per Mendy. Until his demise, Colonel Mendy was the commander of the 1st Infantry Battalion, born in Banjul in 1973. The deceased enlisted in the Defunct Tactical Support Group in 1984 and became a bodyguard to former President Jawara in 1989. Colonel Per Mendy also served as the principal protecting officer to former President Yahya Jammeh. He was jailed in 2006 on charges of concealment of the 2006 Newsroom fault coup events. The West African College of Surgeons, in collaboration with the Postgraduate Medical Training Program at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, trains 10 junior doctors on basic surgical skills, which gives them the tool of practical to become surgeons. This is the first of its kind in the Gambia. West African College of Surgeons is a body that looks after West Africa and visits institutions in Africa to see the ones who are capable for the process. Awasane files in this report.
Dr. Kiva Marine is the head of surgery department at the country's main referral hospital and also one of the trainers.
The two-part course, they've come to train us, that's myself and my colleagues, so that when they leave, we can continue doing this course here. People within Gambia and from outside can come and have this course here. And also to accredit our institution to say that we are capable of running this course. And the second part is to do the first course, which, as you can see from the banner, the maiden course here. They're going to train 10 of what we call our residents, that's the junior doctors, so that they will be then prepared for their further surgical training.
The immediate past president of West African College of Surgeons, Professor Koyawe, said the purpose of the program was to train few Gambian resident doctors so that they can not only practice but also meet the requirement postgraduate training across the sub-region. The 3 days training course of the trainers also saw the Minister of Health join.
In basic surgical skills, that's what we're here for. Basic surgical skills is a very important component of the training program for specialist doctors in surgery, be they general surgeons, gynecologists, ophthalmologists, or any other aspect of surgery. And it's mandatory to have this course for trainee doctors, whom we call residents, before they move to the an exit aspect of the training program. It's very foundational in the training of a surgeon to have the basic surgical skills, so they can learn the correct thing in the correct way at the correct time and be able to apply it to human situation. The truth is that we teach them how to handle some emergencies that you can meet anywhere. As you know, we're living in an era where trauma is a major challenge, and life-saving procedures are some of the...
Professor Yahweh outlined the practical aspect of the training, which include emergency life-saving procedures. He explained further. Dr. Fatoumata Jajusi spoke on behalf of the trainee.
So this surgical basic skill is very, very important because it's a requirement for us to be able to write our Part 1 exams. What Part 1 exams means? To be a specialist in either obstetrics and gynecology or surgery. So it's very, very important. This is the first time, as far as I can remember, that this has been done in the Gambia. In the past, you have to go outside, either in Nigeria or in Ghana, or even in UK to do this course, and it costs a lot. Last year, sometimes, early this year, we had to go to Nigeria to do this course, and we spent a lot of money. So
Dr. Jajusi described the training as very important, cost-effective, and a great opportunity because doctors used to go to other countries to benefit from such trainings. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Awasane.
Well, those were the local stories. We'll be back with international news. After the short break, please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulonding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gosh Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gosh Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gosh on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gosh Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.goshglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh.
Sophie Milk ñu ngi fété juróom benn ati cafka bu dut dañ ñoo leen indil Jalika full cream milk powder neex saf sàpp te bari cafka pour di leen jërëjëfati si ni ngeen defee Sophie Milk seen favorite milk brand léegi mun ngeen a jëfandikoo empty Jalika milk sachets wala carton pour gagner ay xéewal yu riche. Pour gagner motorbike dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty carton yi Jalika milk pour gagner yeneen xéewal yu mel ni PlayStation 4, TV, fridge freezer, gas cooker, bicycle wala mobile phone. dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty Jalika milk sachets def leen si biir enveloppe binda si sa tur ak sa téléphone number. Mun ngeen ko yóbbu si bépp Jalika milk agent bu leen gën a jege. Pour xam bi si raful yi dem leen Jalika milk Facebook page. Jalika milk mooy meew bu ees bu leen so fi indil gën a neex saf sàpp te riche.
Welcome back. Still the news. We now look at the news beyond our borders. The vaccines walk time to wrap up the price. COVID-19 vaccine manufacturers Pfizer and Moderna have raised the prices of their jabs in their latest EU supply contracts. A Financial Times report says. More in this report.
It's perhaps an unwanted reminder of all the cash flows and the business dealings that underpin the global vaccine rollout. But it is a reminder, of course, that this is essentially a business that needs to be kept afloat, and pharmaceutical companies are out to make a profit, whether it's a large profit or a small profit. And of course that raises a whole raft of different ethical questions as well. But according to the latest contract between Pfizer, Moderna and the European Union, there will be a price hike for their shots in the imminent future. According to figures seen by the Financial Times, the new price for a Pfizer shot will be $23, up from $18. Moderna will go up to $25.50, up from $22.60. This, of course, as EU countries are very keen and anxious to stamp out the spread of the Delta variant. It also comes at a time in which countries in the EU and beyond the EU are mulling the possibility of administering a third dose, a booster jab, to improve efficacy. So far, only Israel has approved use of a third dose, a booster jab, in the over 60s. We know that research is happening here in the UK, and Britain and other countries may well follow suit. And all of this, of course, means a potential windfall for both Moderna and Pfizer as well. After phase 3 trials, both of these vaccines have been proven to be more effective than their rivals, than the AstraZeneca jab and the Johnson & Johnson jab. So essentially, both of these companies have a captive audience in the European Union. The European Commission, just to remind you, of course, was accused early on of not acting quickly enough when it came to the vaccine rollout, and what it's doing now is proving that it's willing to throw an awful lot of money at buying a premium product that is proven to work across the board. According to one figure who was close to the negotiations, he said that the companies had capitalized on their market power and deployed the usual pharma rhetoric. Essentially, the vaccines work, time to ramp up the price.
Tunisian security forces placed a judge under the house arrest for 40 days. Local media reported on Saturday the decision against Judge Bissir Ademi came after President Kais Saied's pledge to lead a campaign against widespread corruption. It also came a day after Saied said he will not turn into a dictator after the arrest of 2 PMs on Friday, following his decision to lift their immunity when he seized control of the government this week. Al Jazeera's Katia Lopez Hudayan reports.
In Tunisia, where for now at least uncertainty seems to be the only certainty, a popular president continues to reassure the public, even as the political crisis deepens. On Friday evening, during a meeting with New York Times journalists who'd been detained briefly earlier in the week, Kais Saied promised to respect people's liberties.
Despite the crisis that Tunisia is living, it still operates with freedom of expression and with human rights, built on the Constitution. And if faced with some difficulties in some areas or with some administrations, then these aren't intentional obstacles.
Still, when news broke earlier in the day that Yassine Ayari, a parliamentarian, influential blogger, and fierce critic of the president had been imprisoned, many worried a purge may have begun. According to Tunisia's military judges, though, Ayari was jailed in connection with a 2018 verdict issued against him for defaming the army. Hours later, another member of parliament, Maher Seed, was arrested. On Saturday, a video posted online showed him saying he had been liberated. But according to his lawyer, he was later taken away by security forces, and his whereabouts are unknown. The president has denied having anything to do with these arrests. Last week, when he suspended Parliament for 30 days, he also lifted the immunity of its members, which means legislators with cases against them can now be arrested. In just a matter of days, the president has sacked the defense minister, acting justice minister, and prime minister, who was also serving as acting interior minister. Only an interim interior minister has been named so far, leaving many to speculate when other appointments will be made. For the moment, Zayed's move to seize executive control appears to have gained widespread support in Tunisia, a fragile democracy whose population has grown fatigued by years of corruption, political deadlock, and economic stagnation. This year, as COVID-19 cases surge, things have only worsened. The head of Tunisia's largest party in the governing coalition, Ennahda, has called for talks and says it's ready for concessions within the framework of the constitution.
We are going to try use all peaceful means, dialogue, negotiations, street pressure, pressure from organizations, internal and external pressure, to bring back democracy. Our only goal today is the return of democracy to Tunisia.
By and large, Tunisians hope a roadmap will be created to guide them out of the crisis. And while many politicians profess the same, it's not clear what that roadmap will include or when it might be complete. Katia Lopez Odoyan, Al Jazeera.
The International Olympic Committee says a Belarusian Olympian who says she was taken to Tokyo's Haneda airport to be flown home against her will is safe in the hands of Japanese authorities. Sprinter Kristina alleged her Olympic team tried to remove her from the national team after she criticized her coaches on Instagram. She says her coaches wanted her to compete in the 4x4 track event she had not trained for on Thursday. Al Jazeera's Andre Richardson joins us live from Tokyo, Japan for the latest updates.
The International Olympic Committee says the Belarusian Olympian who says she was taken to Tokyo's Haneda airport against her will is safe in the hands of Japanese authorities. Sprinter Kristina Timonuska alleged her Olympic team tried to remove her from Japan after she criticized her coaches. She was due to compete on Monday in a track event she hadn't trained for, but she says she was ordered to pack her bags on Sunday after publicly complaining.
I'm asking the International Olympic Committee for help. There's pressure against me, and they're trying to get me out of the country without my permission. So I'm asking the IOC to get involved in this.
We plan to contact the Foreign Ministry, National Police Agency and Immigration Departments so that they can confirm directly with Mrs. Timonuskaya her wishes. Japan is party to the Convention relating to the status of refugees, so I hope to call on them to firmly adhere to the principle of non-refoulement in handling this case.
Andy Richardson joins us now live from Tokyo. So, Andy, what do we know about Timonuska's whereabouts?
We've just had a briefing from the International Olympic Committee. Right now, Timonuska should have been competing in the 200 metres at these Tokyo Games. Instead, we are told she's at a hotel near Haneda Airport here in Tokyo. Olympic officials saying they've spoke to her last night. They're due to speak to her again this morning, and they've assured her she does feel safe and secure. What appears to have happened is that a group of other Belarus athletes were leaving the athletes' village last night, having competed here in Tokyo, and she was amongst that group. And the first the IOC became aware that she was leaving against her will was when she arrived at the airport and immediately went out to seek out help from Tokyo police. Let's hear now from the IOC spokesman, Mark Adams.
Spoke to the Belarus athlete Kristina Simonouskaya directly last night. She was with the airport authorities at Haneda Airport and was at the time accompanied by a staff member of Tokyo 2020. She assured us and has assured us that she feels safe and secure. She spent the night at an airport hotel in a safe and secure environment. The IOC and Tokyo 2020 will continue their conversations with her and the Japanese authorities to determine the next step in the upcoming days.
Andy, just fill us in a little bit on how this drama all unfolded and why Timonuska complained about her coaches.
Yeah, I mean, she's a 200-metre sprinter. She was upset and had criticised officials within the team because she was also being asked to take part in the 4x400-metre relay. And she said that's an event she hadn't practised for or trained for, and it's because of the incompetence of officials back in Belarus who'd failed to put other athletes through the required anti-doping tests prior to these games. Therefore, those athletes hadn't been able to compete, and she'd been forced into a position that she didn't feel happy with. And the wider context is problems the IOC have had with the Belarus Olympic Committee. For example, they refused to accept the results of the election for the Belarus Olympic Committee, elections of a new president who happens to be the son of the president, Alexander Lukashenko. A number of leading officials from the Belarus Olympic Committee were banned from even attending these games. But one thing Mark Adams did say is that this story is moving very fast, and at the moment there's a limit to what the IOC can do. But there is somebody from Tokyo 20 with her, also a representative from the UN Refugee Agency, and they're in constant contact with her. But the main point is she's not left Tokyo. She's still in this country and is not on her way back to Belarus.
OK, for the moment, Andy, thanks very much for keeping us up to date with all the details there in Tokyo.
Well, before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. Around 370 imams from KM visit President Barrow. 2021 polls back convenes monthly dialogue. Former Gambian gendarmeries launched 1982 Kirji Intech Foundation. Commander 1st Infantry Battalion Colonel Fred Mendy dies, age 57. 10 junior Gambian doctors trained on basic surgical skills by the West African College of Surgeons in collaboration with Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. On the international scene, Pfizer Moderna to raise COVID vaccine price for Europe. Tunisia state says will not turn into a dictator amidst arrest. Belarus Olympic athlete says taken to airport against her wish. That's all for this edition of the news. Do enjoy the rest of our wonderful programs. Do join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night. Bye for now.